my friends, and welcome to another episode of Your Math Class featuring your math teacher, Miss Kate. And today we are going to talk about the perimeter of composite shapes. In your last lesson, we talked about the area of a composite shape and how we would need to divide our shapes in order to calculate the area of them. But when we're calculating the perimeter of a composite shape, we're just going along the outside of the shape to figure out what is the entire length outside the shape, just like you did with simple shapes. So, the perimeter of a composite shape will require you to solve some problems in order to find out the missing parts. You need to fully examine the shape. Now, that's the tricky thing with calculating the perimeter, is you can't just get to a shape right away and know the answer. There's no way that's going to happen. The first thing you have to do before you start writing to solve the problem is you have to examine the shape. Take the time to examine it. So, as you can see, I'm going to look at the shape. And I am going to notice some things. Okay, so I notice first that I have these dimensions here on the length, so I know the entire length of it on either side. I know the width of it on the bottom, but something that I don't know is this side, and this side. But what I do know about those sides is I know that this side and this little top side, they're the same. I just don't know how much their value is, okay? And I don't know this either, but it has a symbol here. So I'm going to go take a look around my shape to see if there's another symbol just like, there it is, 6 centimeters. So I actually just found a value very easily, 6 centimeters. So I only have 2 sides to figure out. What can I do? Well, whenever I see that I'm missing the value of the top part of the shape, I want to look at the bottom part of a shape. The same thing happens if I look at the left side of a shape. I don't know what some values are. I want to go right to the right side of the shape. So I'm missing 2 top values, so I'm going to go right to the bottom of the shape. So I know that the whole bottom here is worth 11.5 centimeters, but that still doesn't actually help me all that much. What I need to know is how much this in between space would be, so I'd know how much these two were valued, and as it turns out, I do. So, what can I do now? Well, in order to find out what the sum of these 2 shapes would be, I'll have to subtract that number from that number. So let's see. I'm just going to start doing, so I just want to make it clear that for this part of your math, when you're breaking down shapes and trying to figure out sides, you don't have to be very specific. Okay? And what I mean by that is there's no real formula to follow, but you do have to in some way show your work. So right here I have a lot of space right here that I can work with to kind of show my work. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to do 11.5 minus 5.5. And when I minus this from this, I'll know what these total shapes are combined. What's left over? So 5 minus 5 is 0. 1 minus 5 is, I can't, so I'm going to borrow here. 11 minus 5 is 6. And that makes sense to me. I could have known that off the top of my head. So I know that the combined shape of these 2 is 6. This and this is 6 centimeters. Now, how do I know what each top side is? Well, I know that they're equal to each other, so I have to be able to divide 6 into 2 equal numbers. I know that I can divide 6 into 2 equal numbers, which is 3. 3 centimeters and 3 centimeters. Okay? So I can just X that off so I don't get confused. Now I can go around and I can do the whole perimeter of my shape. So I'm going to use some addition. And I am going to cross off every side I do so I don't end up counting the same side again. So I have 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5.5. Now I just want to pause for a second because what I'm doing is repeated addition. But we have some sides that are the same, like this 3 and this 3. If you wanted to, you could put 6 plus 3 times 2 in brackets. But I like repeated addition. It keeps me from getting confused, and I can use a calculator when I do it. So there I was. Hey, there's another good point as to why we cross things off. So you don't get, trapped in a conversation with somebody and then you come back and you have no idea where you were. I know exactly where I am. I wrote it and I crossed it off. Plus 6, plus 3, plus 8, plus 11. Now, have I gone entirely around my shape? Just check. Yes, I've gotten all the dimensions right around my shape. Perfect. And now I can just do some simple addition to get the answer. So there's a lot of ways you could do this. You can run it through the calculator. I'm okay with that. You'll have a calculator in your back pocket for the rest of your life. So I'm just going to do it like this. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 plus 5 is 18. Plus 0.5 is 18.5. Right here, I would just write it in case I lose track. 18 plus 6 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27. 27 plus 8 is 35. 35 plus 11 is 46. Can't forget that 0.5. So I've got 36.5 is my answer. So I'm even going to write it right here. It's perimeter equals... It's okay if you do this. Math is all about getting messy, right? 36.5 centimeters. And that's it. So calculating the perimeter of a composite object is a lot easier than calculating the area. Let's go through a couple more examples. All right, my friends, so here's our first shape for our perimeter of composite shapes. And I'm going to go around it and I'm going to see all the dimensions that I need. Well, I know I have this dimension here, 12 meters. I'm also checking to make sure they're all in the same metric unit. I've got 9. I know this long side here is 13. And I know that this here is 5 meters from here to here. But what I don't know is what this side is here. But because there's a little line here, I know that it's 9 meters. Oh, that's an easy question. That's a breeze of a question. All I have to do is do some repeated addition. I'm going to do it in a different way just to show you now. So I'm going to do 12 plus 9 times 2. Why is it 9 times 2, you might be asking yourself? Because I have 2 9s. So I'm just going to go ahead and cross that off, cross that off, cross that off. Plus 13 plus 5. Piece of cake. Now I'm going to add those all up. And my total is going to be 48 meters. So that's the length all the way around is 48 meters. I have my final shape here, which is a little tricky. So when I go around the shape, I know that this is 200 millimeters and this is 10 centimeters. There's nothing telling me if I need to calculate it in millimeters or centimeters, but because I like to calculate with smaller numbers, so like 20s and 30s and 40s are easier than 200s and 300s. I just find there's too many zeros. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this one from millimeters to centimeters, and it ends up being 20 centimeters. Okay, so let's examine my shape. That's the first thing we have to do. So if this is 20 centimeters right here, then this is 20 centimeters. This is 20 centimeters. And this is also 20 centimeters, but know that there is a shape around it, which means this is not part of the perimeter, right? That is just telling me that it's the same amount, but it's not. The perimeter is always the outside of a shape, don't forget, my friends. And this is not outside the shape, this is inside the shape, this line right here. This is inside. And we don't want to include anything inside. Just like if we were inside of a school, we wouldn't include ourselves in the perimeter. We don't include the walls of classrooms in the perimeter of the outside of a school. So just imagine that was a wall, it would not be included in our perimeter. Okay, so we got 20, 20, 10, 20, because it's got that line like the other ones do. 20 centimeters, and I've got 10 centimeters right here. All right, so that was a really easy one again to do. Because I have so many dimensions that are the same, what I'm going to do is I'm going to see how many times I have 20. I have it 1, 2, 3, 4. I have it 4 times. So what I'm going to do to calculate my perimeter, oops, I got a little bit carried away right there. I'm just going to go like this. All right, so I know that I have 4 20s, so I'm going to go 4 multiplied by 20. Again, don't forget, I could have done repeated addition. I could have done 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. But I'm going to use some multiplication because I want to show you multiple ways for calculating the perimeter. And then I'm going to do plus, how many 2's do I have? I have 2 10s. Or so how many 10s do I have? I have 2 10s. Plus 2 times 10. All right, and that is going to equal, well, I know that 4 times 20 is 80. And I know that 2 times 20 is 20. So 80 plus 20 equals 100 centimeters. So around this entire shape, if you were to walk, or an ant were to walk, let's say, because I mean, like, for you to walk 100 centimeters is easy. But if an ant were to walk all the way around this shape following the line, he would have gone 100 centimeters.